I've experienced change in my life in a really powerful way. I shot heroin in my arm and was a drug addict, begged for money outside of supermarkets, and watched people look at me with disgrace. Change for me did not happen by a magic wand being waved over my head and I'm like not an addict anymore. It took time and consistency. So small things, to me, we believe it's how change happens. Change happens over time by being consistent with our neighbors. It was all the people that would take me out to coffee and talk to me about my problems. It was the fact that I felt like I deserved to be able to have a shower, brush my teeth, put on clean clothes, make my bed. Not because those were activities I were doing, but because the worth that I had was starting to come out. This is the kind of consistency that people need. And that's what Small Things is committed to be a consistent partner in the neighborhood. In the Philadelphia region, we have things called food insecurity. And food insecurity is defined as like your monthly income does not meet your expenses. So I get a certain amount of money every month, and by the time I pay all my bills, there's no money left to provide the basic needs. So there's some people, their families, they fall short being able to provide food. So that's where a place like us, it's sad that we have to exist, but we do because there's a need, that we step in and we supplement by offering food resources to people that don't have the income to provide the basic needs of food to their families. The connection that happens when we care for one another is really what matters. And it's us coming together really to care and to show compassion and love to one another. I mean, the food delivery, the food packing, the volunteers. So we really think that if we all come together and do our part, we really can care for the region well together. And it's not like anyone has to be overwhelmed thinking that they need to do it all themselves. There's enough of us in Philadelphia that we can actually make a big difference if we all do our part. So as I think about churches and the way that they've kind of stepped up, I remember like when we were like, I was sitting here and people were asking me, what do you need? And I'm like, we need a volunteer platform because in order to do this work, delivering meals, we need to find a way to do it. And I remember Kent just is like, we have a platform called For Philly that you could totally use. And I remember watching people respond and using that platform and Epic and the t-shirts. And I bought a t-shirt, my wife bought a t-shirt, and we were all caught up in this For Philly movement of like how we were caring for neighbors and loving one another. And it was just an awesome thing. But really what it was is we mobilized people to care for one another. And that's what's beautiful about when we're able to come together and help one another. To be able to be a place where people can go. I always said we can't solve poverty, but we can give someone their next meal. And what will it look like if we all respond to this call to help our neighbors and to love one another? We can make such a difference just by being consistent right where we are in our lives with the people that are there. So to me, change happens over time through consistency. It's really the small things that matter.